Hello traders, Rich here and I wish you a fantastic weekend. Today we are going to make a detailed breakdown on Bank Nifty. So if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. And you can even request a specific instrument that would you like me to go over next, just like this one. So let's get started. Cheers. For those who know me know that we always start from the weekly and daily time frames to know where we stand at the market, and we have two steps here. The first one is a zoomed out picture to draw our support and resistance, the key rejection areas or levels that has been holding in history, right? That's first. Then we will zoom in to get a feeling about the market from a market structure perspective. Are we overall bullish? Then we'll be looking for buy setups to catch the next impulse. Are we overall bearish? Then we'll be looking for sell setups when the bullish corrective is about to end to catch the next bearish impulse. Are we inside the range? We'll be looking for sell here and buy here until, of course, price breaks the range upward or downward. So let's see the drawings and let's do it, right? So if we zoom out, as mentioned previously, we start with a zoomed out picture. We will draw our historical support and resistance. And the trick to do it is to draw a random line on your chart and drag and drop it in a way to connect as many swings as possible. And we have to draw a support and resistance that connects at least 3 swings, right? So here we can see that it only connects one swing, right? So we have to make it or to draw it in a way that connects many swings. And you can see here only 2 swings, right? Here we have a very strong one, and of course our support and resistance is an area and not a laser line, so we have to treat it like this, right? But to make our chart cleaner, let's see the area and draw it as a level, right, to make it clean, but we'll treat it as a zone. So as price approaches this area, so starting from here, for example, we'll start to look for buy setups, or if price is approaching it from this way, starting from here, we'll be looking for sell setups. And the reason why it's a very strong one is because we have many rejections from it, right? So it was acting as support here and price broke it downward, so we could look for sell setups around here. Then price broke it upward, so it's now acting as what? As support again. So as price approaches it, we'll be looking for buy setups, of course, unless price breaks it downward, then you know the rest of the story. So now that's our first one. The second one would be maybe, let's see, 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. So we've got like 2 support and resistance very close to each other, which and obviously acting as support as a big zone, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So this entire area is a very strong support and resistance, and we can also draw this one here, right? We've got 1, 2, and 3. But anyway, we'll not need this one for now, as price may not test it, or even these, as price may not test it. The price is currently around here. So now we are done with our support and resistance. We can zoom in, as mentioned at the start, to get a feeling about the market structure, right? Here we go. So we can clearly see that Bank Nifty is overall bullish, right? So we've got impulse, small and flat corrective, impulse, corrective, impulse, corrective, and so on. So we are currently in the corrective phase. So what we are looking for buy setups. For what? To catch the next impulse movement, right? And it happens to be that this area here is a very strong area to look for buy setup. Why? Because first of all, we've got this previous high, and it doesn't have to respect it always. For example, here we can see that price undershoot it before going up. But you've got the idea. We need to look for areas to start to look for buy setups, and not just like impulse corrective, because we want. So we could look for buy here, right? But price kept going downward. So we need to find a key rejection area around here to start to look for buy setups. So, and the reason why we're looking for now, as mentioned previously, is because the price is approaching the previous high. And we also have this minor gap here, which can also act as a minor, in this case, as a minor demand area. So for now, what we know from a daily time frame, because we don't have a typical support and resistance around this area. The support and resistance here, a typical one which has many failed attempts to break above or below it, is around here. So here we don't have anything. That's why we are trying to find a key rejection area. So the first one is we have this gap. Second one is we have this previous high, and the third one is, which is even stronger, is this demand area. We've got a very strong demand area here as price made an aggressive movement up from it. So we know that the price can break this area to reach here to get more liquidity before going up. And it happens to be that this area is also a very strong round number. So from this chart, the round numbers are, let me fix it for you to see it better, 30K, right? The next one is 20K. That's it, and 0. And of course, we also have the 1K and 5K, but the closest ones are 40K, right? And let's see. We can see that the 20K also is a strong support and resistance. It's not a typical one, but it's still, it is in a way that makes sense, right? We've got many rejections from it. And of course, it's a zone and not a laser line, right? So we've got a support and resistance here, which also happens to be a very strong ground number. Anyway, let's go back to the current price action, and we've got the 40K, which would be around here. So if price goes up from here, because we don't have typical support and resistance, we've got this round number, which is a very strong one. We'll be looking for sell setups here. So long story short, let's make this one in blue. Yes, let's do it. So long story short, we'll be looking for buy setups here because price is retesting the previous low, the previous high, and it happens to be also that it is around here, which is this. It's not a typical support and resistance again, but this is a very strong area or level because price made an aggressive movement down from it. So it's not like it's a supply. It's supply that the price broke it upward, so it's now acting as support. It's not like that because supply and demand, if price makes it upward or downward, it will not shift, just like supply and resistance. So if a supply is broken upward, for example, here you have a supply, right? So when supply is broken upward, then supply would be no longer valid. So let's delete it. But this area is a very strong area because we've got this huge movement down, right? So here we have many key rejection areas. And even if we zoom into H4 time frame, we can draw what? The trend line. So now things are getting are starting to make more sense, right? Just before we continue, I want to share the good news. I recently had a deal with PrimeXBT for you guys to benefit from discounts and bonuses. When you create an account, simply go here, promo code, and copy and paste this one. I also included in the description below. And you will get a 50% bonus on your first deposit, or signal is 25 and you will get 25% discount on your trading fees. Moreover, they do have a very interesting feature which is called convesting, where you can copy other traders. So for example, you like this one who has very good results and daily profits, simply click on follow and you will copy every single trade that he takes. If you don't have an account yet, I will make sure to include the link in the description below. And let's continue. And even if you make an offset for it, we can make it like this, right? So we've got this non-horizontal support, non-horizontal resistance acting as an overbought area in this case, and the price seems to be now retesting it. We have a gap, we have the previous high, we have this area. So it's a very interesting area to look for buy setups. And of course, as mentioned previously, unless price breaks it downward now, we know that we are still overall bearish, and even now we are overall bearish from a short-term perspective. So impulse corrective, we are overall in a corrective phase in a bearish market, right? From H4, from a medium-term perspective. So we will not buy immediately or blindly now, like many traders do. We are trying to put the odds in our favor in a way that of course makes sense. right? So now, long story short, again and again, we'll be looking for buy setups here because we've got many confluences, unless price breaks it downward, and we know that the next rejection area would be around this one, which is an even stronger area because we have a very strong demand area as price made an aggressive movement upward from it, and we have this very strong round number, which is the 30K, right? That's what we know from daily, weekly, and H4 time frame, and we just drew some lines, and now we can see the chart cleaner and clearer, right? So at least now we know where we are in the market and what to look for, and obviously we are looking for buy setups now, right? To catch what? The next impulse movement. That's when we zoom into lower time frames to look for now, for example, for buy setups. So let's do it. Here we go. We can clearly see, and I don't have to show it to you. We can draw this trend line. Let's make it an orange, and of course we always try to make an offset for it. That's it. So it's now like a channel, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's our channel. And since price is around blah, 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 as I told you before, I will not repeat myself again because I've already done many times. We are looking for buy setups. So now we'll be waiting for a new swing to form around it to consider it our last swing, and then we'll buy on spec upward, because now we are currently in a bearish market, and we can see in a bearish market the price would be making lower lows and lower highs, right? So lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and here we have a higher low, but what was still fine. The buyers didn't take control yet. Why? Because they failed to break above the previous high. So we are still in a bearish market, and as you can clearly see, you don't have to compare the lows and the highs. You can see that the price is going down, right? So for now, we don't want to buy a bearish market. We always wait for extra confirmation and trigger, which we'll be waiting for a new swing to form around our upper trend line now to consider it our new last swing, and then and only then, let me fix this one, we will enter buy on break upward, right? And let's fix this one. Here we go. Of course, let's make this one lower, and that's it. And meanwhile, until this happens, Bank Nifty would be overall bearish and can still trade lower and lower. In this case, if price breaks below this area, then this one would no longer be a non-horizontal support as price broke it down, right? Then the next one would be, as mentioned previously, we have a very strong demand and this 30K. So usually when I analyze a new chart, you will see me making like this. We'll be looking for buy here, so that next time when I open my chart, I immediately know what to look for, and I don't have to make the analysis again. Of course, I will save the chart, right? So now I'll be looking for buy if price goes here, and for buy setups now, if price forms this swing, and then I will enter buy on break upward. Of course, when the buy is activated, the stop loss would be below the previous low, and we target what? A 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Now we see our 40K again. So now, if the buy is activated, the next rejection area would be where? Would be here, which is a very strong area, because it is the intersection of this over both, in this case, trend line, or acting as resistance, and this 40K. So if price made it here, makes it here, it would be a very strong area to look for sell setups, right? Let me delete it. And of course, if price make like this and not test this exact point, we would be still looking for sell setups here because we've got the 40K. But anyway, let's take it step by step. And that's it for Nifty. That's what we are looking for. Long story short, again and again, we'll be looking for buy setups unless price breaks this one downward. We are still overall bearish until the buy is activated, until the price makes like this. Would be overall bearish, price can still go lower, and then we'll be looking for buy setups around this area. And we're only interested in selling this one if price reaches the 40K, or of course, unless price forms like this, breaks it downward, and then we'll be looking for sell setups on the retest. But anyway, let's take it step by step. That's it. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.